All right, what's up, everybody? This is the long-awaited stream. Hopefully, we don't have any speakers catching on fire this time. I have a new set of speakers now, and the Logitech ones have been tossed in the garbage, sadly, after like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years of service. Actually, it might even be longer than that. So, if you guys aren't aware, the first time we unboxed the printer, which you can see is still unboxed. I have not actually been out in this office for a little bit because I've been working in the shop lately. the speakers on my computer caught on fire and tripped the battery back up. And yeah, we just ended the stream, and I've been so busy with the day-to-day operations here that I just haven't had time to stream. So I said, screw it, we're going to do a late night stream tonight. I'm really excited to put this printer together. And actually, in between the time of us attempting the first one and now, there was actually a safety issue with the bed on this printer. So this is a box that Creality sent me, and they also gave me a $150 gift card for the trouble. But apparently this is a brand new bed for this machine. And this is the Ender 5 Max. This is a new model that came out, I don't know, a couple months ago, 2 months ago tops. I'm going to be curious to know what is involved with swapping the bed. Got a bunch of bolts in here with some zip ties. And then I've got a whole new bed. So, and I'm going to look into this to figure out what is going on. I suspect from what I was able to glean from their like release about this is I suspect there's a resistance issue, meaning the other bed on the first production one was probably pulling too much power for whatever reason. It's really interesting. There's like 2 lumps here. I don't know what these would be for. Obviously, there'll be 1 lump for a thermistor, but this is a whole new bed. And this bed is 3 layers. You got the magnet, you got the I don't know, the aluminum, and then the PCB heater. So yeah, and then there's insulation. So there's 4 layers on here. My audio levels look okay on my end. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm just, I know this is a weird time to stream, but you know, late night streams used to be pretty popular on this channel. But if you guys are watching on the replay, thank you. But for you guys joining me live at almost midnight my time, I'm on Central Time, I appreciate you guys stopping by. And Crystal will probably be popping out here at some point, so I've got my second wireless mic ready to go with the little fuzzy U on there. But yeah, we're going to jump into this. So the printer is already unboxed. I think where we're at with the last stream before things went tits up was we were getting ready to dive into the control box. I also just realized there's this on my desk. I don't know if this was from the printer or if this is something else I was having here. I'm just going to look through the guide here and see if it mentions anything. I don't. So this is probably, I wonder if this is from my vinyl cutter. So hopefully it should be a pretty quick installation. We're basically going to run through here. You put the 4 uprights on, you bolt the top and the bottom on, and then put the Z motion components in. So we'll see. Chat's pretty dead tonight. I'm going to see. I should have sent an email out, but this was kind of spur of the moment. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to go into the control box because it'll be way easier to do that with this unassembled. And we're going to take a look at the electronics because unlike a lot of the other YouTubers that will just, you know, look at a machine and print with it and be like, oh yeah, it's great. I like to dig in. If you guys are new here and this is your first time either watching the live stream, if you're on live, or if you're watching the replay, one thing I do is I actually tear into the machines to see what is going on inside them, any oversights, any potential safety issues, that kind of stuff. I'm actually streaming directly from my my computer out to YouTube, so this should be a nice butter smooth 60 frame a second 1080p instead of going through Streamlab with where we can have guests and it's a little bit the bit rate's chopped down and the frames per second is only 30. Hello. When you're ready to mic up, I have all you do is take this out of the thing and clip it. That's it.
Just clip it?
Yeah, whenever you're ready. I'm just going to set this. I'm probably going to hide this camera because I don't think you guys really care. Dan Adams is in chat. He's watching at work. Shouldn't you be working? Shouldn't you be working, Dan? It's okay. I won't tell your boss. As long as you're not screwing up the trucks, okay? Oh, look at that. With a button press on my Stream Deck, I can toggle my head on and off. All right. I'm going to go ahead and set a super chat goal here. And if we hit this super chat goal, we're going to do a giveaway. And I promise I'll make it worth your while. It will be limited to US people only. So, all right. Let's jump in here and see how Creality did on this machine in terms of build quality and features here. I'll be using my TH3D set with the 1/4" driver here, which we don't have the screwdriver sets anymore. I gotta find a new one, but with all this tariff crap going on, probably gonna be hard to source an affordable toolkit. So, but I want to see what's in here. You guys will have to let me know how the audio is or not. But we're going to go ahead and take this apart. I'm assuming this is the bottom. This looks like the bottom of the machine. Here's my little screw thing so I don't lose all these. Usually have a magnetic screw dish somewhere here. Is there a little magnetic... Oh, here's one. I got it. We're going to see what's going on inside here before we even take it apart. I want to see like what kind of power supply they're using, how they terminated the wires, what control board, all that good stuff, so we can see what we're getting for our, I don't know, it was like $700 or $800 when I bought it. Who the hell knows what it is now with all the tariffs. But all right. Okay, immediately one thing I notice is, okay, this is really weird. Oh, this has got to be for the bed. This is a really weird cable. So there's an access door here. I'm assuming you take these 4 screws out and it comes out through here. It's a beefy plug. This bed is running off of mains voltage. So this is an AC bed. We've got a knockoff generic power supply. It's the CSCL or whatever. It claims to be UL listed. It might actually be. It's only 150 watt, which is fine because the bed's pulling this. Now this board looks very similar to the board that is that's on the Ender 5S1 and the Ender 3S1s. Very similar design. I don't think it's the same. They might have reused portions of it, but similarity wise, it looks very similar. Now we do have this ribbon cable going out to the LCD, and I'm assuming the LCD is like one of those. It's a spin-off of their Nebula pad, which has like the clipper hose, because this is a clipper machine. So that's what we're going to be seeing here. We got a breakout board here. We got the classic Creality hot snot, because hot glue is free in China. Got a little SSR here for the heated bed control. And from what I'm looking at, it looks like, yeah, this will do 220 and 110. So it's got 2 different wirings, so they can use the same power or same bed for different regions of the world. And the other interesting thing is this power supply is actually auto switching. So I know this CSCL brand or whatever, they're a Chinese company. I'm not sure how good they are. I've actually seen these in MakerBot printers and some of the other Crealities. So they look better built than some of the power supplies we've seen in these other machines. But again, I think gone are the days where we can expect a mean wheel in here. But let's look at the wire termination. So they have crimp ferrules on here, which is good. We like crimp ferrules. That's a nice secure connection. These all look like they're properly crimped. I'm going to give them a little tug here. Seems pretty good. Terminations are nice. I like that. This looks like it'd be getting its ground through the chassis, and they do have a dedicated ground lug here coming off the power supply into the frame. So, and even a ferrite core on here for some reason. That's odd. But silicone wires on everything too. This is actually really good. Yeah, I can feel the silicone wires on here. So overall build quality looks pretty good at first glance. We'll see if it has any issues when we power it up. We got our 2 Z motor wires here, one coming out either side. Got a little 4010 blower or 4020 blower fan here, so that's good. We actually stock these. So if this dies, we can replace it with one of ours that'll last a lot longer. I'm just looking at the fan blades. It almost looks like there's dust on it already, or it could just be how the light's hitting it. I don't know. It's weird. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and button this back up. I'm gonna put this on the correct direction. And then we're gonna get into the build here. All right. Turn the torque down on this. I don't know what I was using this for last, but it was definitely not these tiny little screws. I'll tell you that. So, but so far build quality looks pretty decent. I'm gonna check because this is an AC bed. I'm wondering if they had like a wiring problem, and since we have both the original bed that came with this and the replacement, I can measure the two and see what the differences are in terms of resistance. So I'm wondering if it was like a thing where the 220 and the 110 were flipped on the plug or something. We'll find out. But all right, got that button back up, and let's get into the printer build itself. So let me zoom this out all the way, and we're going to look at the manual here just to follow their directions. Is that it? Okay, yeah. So we do start with the bottom. I got to flip this over, and it does note where everything goes. So when installing the profiles, be sure that there are no wires pinched. Okay. And there's two profiles with two different kind of wires. So we do have labels on these. Okay, so we have one, and it says it'll go on the front left, and then 2, 3, and 4. So let me flip this over, and we'll start getting the frame built. Now, according to the diagram, oh, look at, they actually labeled them with the numbers. So we're just going to play match the numbers, and we're going to use the M5 by 18 screws. Always like to see some zip ties included. Those are always handy. Got a spare nozzle. Looks like this takes a fairly standard nozzle. I thought this was going to have one of those unicorn nozzles, but this looks like an MK8 style, which is good. Teflon tube for TPU use. Interesting. Looks to be a tighter diameter one, so I wonder if they have you change the tubing out somewhere. Weird. All right. We got a nice pusher rod here. A little bit smaller than 1.75, but these are always a nice addition to have, just because it'll help you unclog your nozzles. We do sell actually unclogging kits if you guys are looking for them. We have a few of those left. All right, so I'm looking for the M5 by 18s. That's these guys. All right, I'm going to put these other ones off to the side here. Where's my screw container? Here it is. I'm going to throw these in here so we don't lose them. All right, and I'm going to be cheating a little bit and using my drill here with the bit adapter, so I don't have to put all these in by hand. Not like there's a ton of them, but there's enough. All right, so when the screw's going from the bottom, so I'm just going to kind of put each corner over and have them going from the bottom. So, all right. Okay, this is showing this goes here, which makes sense. There's a plug right here. This should be the right adapter bit. Yep. All right, I'm going to put 2 up through the bottom. Oh, this is going to be kind of hard to do because I can't see the holes. Okay, they're kind of in the front here. We'll give a little more ugga-duggas than that. It's an M5 bolt. Next one here on this side. All right. Now I gotta look for number 2. There's number 2. I'm gonna put that over here. Go on. There we go. All right. You guys want more of an overhead shot, or you guys kind of want to have like an angle like this? What would viewers prefer? Probably like this would be good. Right there. All right. All right. And now I'm going to rotate around so we can do the other side. Okay. And then we've got number 4, which goes over here. We've got another cable coming out of this one, which connects in the rear. All right, and then the last upright, which is number 3, which is for some reason wrapped. All the other ones were not. I don't know why just number 3 is wrapped. Who knows? Maybe the person that was supposed to be wrapping all of them got lazy and decided the other 4 don't need to be wrapped, because I don't remember unwrapping the others. And it's for the best, because this is kind of a pain to get off. All right, number 3. That did not go where I wanted it to. All right, that's all for the uprights. Now it tells me to use the M4x12s and the oversized flat washers for the feet. So M4x12s or M5x12s. Here we go. Got the washers and the screws. It says 4 foot pad installation. Man, the directions on this stuff have gotten a lot better over the years. They used to be atrocious. I'm just going to put a foot in each corner. I don't think you guys really care about seeing that. I'm going to throw these on really quick. Put the feet over here. Swap the bit out for 3 mil. Probably using the 2.5 or the 3 and the 4 quite a bit on this build. All right, so we got a washer in the foot, and then I'm going to put one on each corner. Chat, you guys are very quiet today. We got 15 people watching and nobody's chatting. I'm just curious, does anybody who's watching have this machine? I'm curious. And the last foot. All right, so next we're going right into it. We're going up to the top. So let me flip this around so I have the front facing me. I'm just going to plug these cables in so they're out of the way. No, we haven't gotten to that step yet, but everything is keyed and they can't really go in the wrong way. So kudos on them for doing that. All right, now I need the top, and we need 6 M5 by 65s. So these are probably these long ones. Yep, here we go. M5 by 65s. And we need 8 of them? 6. 2 in the front and then 1 in the rear. Okay, that's interesting. All right, let's go ahead and move you guys up since we're moving to the top of the printer now. I was like, where's the top of the printer? It's over here. The bed's on the floor here. All right. Top of the machine on. Don't have to pinch any of the cables. These are all keyed to fit in the extrusion, which is nice. Okay. Yeah, 2 in the front, 1 in the rear. So we got 2 up front here, 2 up front here, and then we got 1 in the back here. So take these long boys, and they'll each go into a hole. We're going to put the lock washer on here, slide them in. Then I'll hit them with the, I'll hit them with the drill. Yeah, one of my washers just went under the desk. Is the Ender 5 Max on sale now? I don't know. I haven't looked. I bought this when it was first announced a couple months ago. Chris is going to look it up right now, and she'll post a link in chat along with the details. Are they out of stock? You're on the Canada site.
I know.
You can usually change it on the top. If you look up at the top, yeah, it says change store. See change store there? Yeah, I don't know how it is. I mean, I'm assuming they have stock in the U.S. Because a lot of these companies, before the tariffs, they started front-loading inventory. So I know Creality has warehouses in the U.S., so it would not surprise me if they have some still. Is it in stock? It says $8.49 on the page she has up. Yeah, it's in stock. Okay, so they're $8.49. Not bad for a 400 cubed machine. This is no room downstairs. All right. So we got to put the Z-axis in. And then we'll use 2 5x22s and 2 5x12s. So 5x12s go into the top, and the 5x22s go into the bottom. So let me grab these. I don't think they're directional. I think they're exactly the same. And the Z assemblies come pre-assembled as one piece. And I don't see a difference between the two. It doesn't mention. Yeah, these are identical. Okay. So I'm going to put one in on this side. Maybe. Oh, hold up. This way. Okay. You know, they really should have said to put this in before you tighten it down, but I guess there's enough flex in the frame. Let's see. Gotta line the screw holes up here. There we go. Okay. It kind of like recesses into the frame, if that makes sense. So this top piece, there we go. Okay. Let me move this one. All right, so we need the 5x22s on the bottom, which are right here. And then the 5x12s will go on the top. And I'm probably going to use, or they may be, because these are kind of long. I'm not going to be able to get the drill in here. I have to put these in by hand. Move you guys down so you see what I'm doing here. So these are M5x22s. How about gripping the head on the bolt? Jesus. It is nice. They actually put screw holes in here so you can get your screwdriver through. Oh, interesting. So when we do the top, we loosen these grub screws up here. They're on the top of each of the rods here, right here and here. And then that allows it to float up. And then you put them back in place. So that's actually a nice idea. Undo that a little bit. Undo that. I'm assuming that'll allow this plate to kind of float a little bit. There we go. Assuming as I tighten this up, it's going to pull that plate to the top. It's trying. I don't think that's letting it go. Gotta pull it out even further? No, there's no resistance on it. Interesting. Because I can see it's kind of bowing a little bit. And I don't see a grub screw down here. I'm wondering if these rods are screwed in from the bottom. Yeah, that grub screw's, or I don't think it's a grub screw holding it. I think it's just um, the pressure of the rod into this cast piece, because this is all cast aluminum, it looks like. Screw hole lined up here. Yeah, that one looks like it's slid a little. They give you like the crappiest screws. That one just stripped out. But it's in all the way, so. All right. I'll connect that Z motor here. Now I'll do the other side. They're kind of a pain to get in. Come on. It's got to like drop in. There we go. It's got to like drop into the extrusion. So you can see there's kind of a gap here. So when you loosen the grub screws up, as you tighten this bar to the top here, it's supposed to do that. I'm sorry that this is auto-focusing weird because it's like an open area, but we'll be done here in a sec. Just putting the 2 bottom screws in, and then we'll loosen the 2 grub screws up top, and then get the top installed. I think we'll just have to hook up some wires and then run it. And these motors they have on the X and Y are beefy suckers. They're 76 millimeter NEMA 17s. Look at these. Look at that. That's a beefy boy. That is a beefy ass stepper. That'll push some amps for sure. All right, let me get the top here. And then actually in our shop right now, we have so I'm looking at this bracket and I don't know why they have you I don't know why they have you loosen up these grub screws here. Yeah, it says loosen them up. There's screws holding the rods in on the top, which which means that that's why they weren't coming up, is because there's screws in the top of each of these. Literally, those are doing nothing. That doesn't make any sense. It wouldn't be a Crowley printer without some oversight of the core design of the machine. Let's see if I can loosen these up. Man, I can't even get my T handle in there. Let me try with the little Allen key. Yeah, there's like screws going into the top of these. And you can't even get a wrench in here to loosen these screws up. So that's why the rod wasn't moving when I undid the grub screw. Why do they have you undo the grub screw if there's a screw in the top of the plate? You see it? So they tell you to loosen this up, assuming that the rod will float, but there's a screw holding it. So this isn't even really needed at all. And I can't even get my ball and hex key in here at any position to try to get this in here to loosen the screw up so the rod can float up a little bit. What? What a weird choice. Did I miss something in the... Hang on. No, it says screw it in. Tighten the top of the ZXS component to the top component, then retighten the grub screws as shown in figure 1. Those grub screws are redundant because there's a head right here. There's a screw going into the top of this rod. This grub screw is not really doing anything. That's weird. Really weird. Okay, well, we're just going to screw this together. I don't really know if that'll make any much of a difference in the greater scheme of things. My only worry would be over time putting pressure on these, because this is going to be pulled up, putting pressure on it, and then the because there's a pretty good gap. There's like a 2 millimeter gap here, but like this aluminum piece cracking, because you can see here it's pulling it up. Man, I don't like that, because I can see it bending a little bit. Yeah, because there's a screw on these too. I'm wondering if I can get my pliers in there and loosen it, because otherwise I got to take the whole upright out and take all the screws out. And that's just a pain in the ass. Actually, I wonder if my little flexi adapter will get in here. Maybe. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah, it moved. As soon as I did that, it moved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up that screw and the grub screw. So I just got my flexi adapter in there. Loosen the screw up. Yeah, of course that one's over tightened. Yeah, my RIP, my flexi adapter. Oh, man. I'm wondering though if I can just put this in my drill chuck. Because I didn't think I need to recrimp this if I do that. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Yeah, because you need to loosen that top up. Because otherwise this whole top piece is going to be under pressure. Oh, and of course, remember I said that screw stripped out? Oh, this is off to a great start. You know what? Jesus. They really torqued this one in here. Holy crap. God damn, I think they put Loctite on this. There we go. I was just really in there. I'm gonna drop this rod out. Of course, I'm gonna take the other side out, or at least loosen this up. Get this out of here without. So damn annoying. Yes, I can. Damn, there's tension on this screw. I can feel it. All right. I'm going to tighten the grub screw back down. Tighten this one down just a hair. Hopefully I can get this in there without all the bearings taking a vacation. Ooh. All right. Yeah, that's a design oversight for sure. Shocker. Rod holders back in. Hmm. That's our first negative with this machine. We do the same over here because we obviously don't want that bracket, that cast aluminum bracket, to be under constant stress or it will probably crack over time. So I'm taking out, you guys, oh, there we go. So I'm taking the rod holder out here, which is this little metal bracket. Man, they really torque these down in here. But I can get this side out without losing any bearings. Oh, reality, reality. Let's see if I can get this one out by hand. I'm gonna get like a wide angle lens for this camera, especially with these larger printers. All right. So over the back, drop that down. Do the same on this side. Can I get my ball end in here? Oh, yep. Okay. Loosen that up. See, now this can move. Wonder how many people are not going to catch that and they're going to end up having broken supports here, because if this breaks, the whole printer is basically compromised. If you don't realize what I just realized. Unless they want you to break it, then you either have to buy a new machine or buy replacement parts from them. Wouldn't put it past them. All right, I'm going to tighten the grub screws back down. I'll just snug up these screws on the top. Right. And now put the rod back in. Again, if you do it this way, be very careful because you can poke the bearings out. Didn't lose any on that one either. Cool. All right. Okay. The rod back in there. I should go look at some other YouTube videos and see if anybody noticed that. It's kind of a big deal. It's going to cause those to break because it's just cast aluminum. It's not machined aluminum. It's just cast, which is pretty brittle. What does chat think? You guys are awful quiet. We got 16 people watching and like nobody chatting. You guys are so quiet today. Yeah, there's 16 people watching.
Well, minus 50.
Yeah, minus you. Yeah. Hmm? You can go to bed if you want. All right, I'm going to connect the Z motor. Hey, Tor. How's it going? I bet I can make my X4 into a Core XY for cheaper than this. Probably. They're $849. I think you can probably make it into a Core XY for a lot less than that. I don't know how long you've been lurking, but the so these top pieces here that hold the rods, they tell you to loosen up the grub screw on the other side here. What they don't say is there's a screw in the top that goes into the rod, and it is supposed to let the rod float up as you bolt this to the top. Well, if you don't undo this top screw here, what ends up happening is it's bending this cast aluminum piece, which over time is going to cause it to crack. So, yeah, kind of a major oversight on Creality's part here. All right, what's our next step? Probably bolting the bed on, I'm assuming. Connect the left and right motor and then unscrew the access panel for the bed. Okay, so here's the wire for this motor, which you gotta run yourself. Weird that they have this one not pre-run, but the other one is. It's weird. So I'll just plug it in and then put the cable cover on it and shove the extra back in. Here's the extra. Shove that back into the control box. Right. And we'll connect the other motor here. I assume this connects somewhere over here. Yep, filament sensor. And there's another one here labeled XY minus. Stop back here? Oh, there are inside switches. Okay, it's up inside here. Right? There's actually end stop switches for the X and Y. All right, then we have another cable here. Aha, this goes down to the bottom. That's for the tool head. I'm assuming this has a tool head board. Let's see how many wires we have. 1, 2. We have 5. 1, 2, 3, 6. We have 6. Okay, still could possibly be a tool head board. The question is, can we fit both of these in this extrusion? Looks like we can. All right. Wires in here. I'm going to plug this in, then do the cable management. The wires do feel really nice, like not cheap. All right. You going to bed? Huh? Okay. I love you. And it's like cable length. It's like just barely enough. Just barely. Okay. All right. So I got to take the cover off for the bed. And yeah, now we're going to connect the bed. So I have the original bed and I have the new one. And I'm curious to see what the difference is in the resistance. This is going to kind of be a pain to change. There's a 3D printed piece on the bottom here of the bed to hold the... Come on, camera, focus over there. Focus right here. This is the holder for the control board, and it's 3D printed. Hopefully it's ABS. But I'm curious to see what the resistance is on these pins versus the new one. I think the center is the common. Interesting. So I got 12.2 ohms across this pin and the center pin. 48 across the two outer pins. So 12. These are these labeled? Oh, this says line neutral and ground. Well, we know it's not line neutral and ground. There's 220 and 110 pins. So we got 60 across these two, 48 across these two, and 12 across these. So 12, 48, 12, 48, and 60. So 60, 48, 12 is what we're reading on the bed that this came with. Let me take a reading of the other one. Just a moment. So let's see. 12, 49, and 61. So it's really, really close. I am going to swap this out just because this is mains voltage. Maybe my bed is okay, or maybe there was a defect that causes it to go bad at a certain point. But it looks like I got to take these. Sorry, my camera's not focusing here. So it looks like I got to take these 4 bolts off here to get this bed off. Oh, I just realized it's got a flex plate on it. So take that off. All right. That is not the correct one I need. Bro. Okay, whatever fucking moron assembled this at the factory rounded off all these fucking screw heads. It's like a hot dog down a hallway on that one. Okay, well, I'm not gonna be able to show you guys this. I'm just gonna try to do my best off camera. And I'm kind of wishing I would have had them change this out. So hopefully this will go smooth. They did give me new screws and looks like new screws and nuts for the replacement. Well, that's good because I'll probably need them since whatever dumbass assembled this stripped all the heads out. Okay. That one was a little bit of a pain, but I got it. Nothing says creality quality like having to swap a part out on a brand new machine. Although, to be fair, they've all had their issues. Bamboo, Anycubic. Oh, this one I was a little worried. It's slipping a little bit. Oh, oh, and there's springs under the bed, too. This is going to be a pain in the ass. Got one more. Where did that spring go? It's down here. I thought they were going to send a whole new carriage and everything. If I would have known they were going to send me literally just the plate, I would have probably declined their offer. God damn it. Okay. Last screw. Thank God. Whatever. We just let these screws fall on the ground because we have new ones. There goes the springs. And there's, of course, Hot's nut on the plug for the bed sensor module. Jesus. Okay. Old bed is removed. I somehow did not lose any of the springs. Somehow. I'm sorry about the crappy angles right now. It's kind of hard working on this like this. Okay. So each of these springs, so I have washers that have to go in, and I have to have these springs, and it all has to go in one shot. Whoever designed this is a moron. God, this is horrible. And I probably should have paid attention to the orientation of the bed. Guess I can go back and rewind my recording here if it got if I could even see it. So you got these 4 springs here. And then you have 4 spacers for each screw, and these all have to go together. Oh man. Okay. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. And I got to make sure I have, I think this has to be oriented right because you have each of the force sensors in here for each side. Let me go look and see. I'm trying to think if I'll be able to figure out looking at this from the videos. Oh, let's see here. My head cam back on. Maybe I'll leave this on so you guys can see what I'm doing off screen. I'm gonna go and look at our old live here. Let me switch here. It would have been this one. When did we do this? This was 2 months ago. Was it really already been 2 months? I want to see if I show what the bed. So there's the top. There's the sides. I was getting to the bottom. And then that's when the speakers died right there. And there's Tor wondering what the hell's going on. I'm trying to see if there's like any part where I had the bed. I didn't even think about that when I was taking it apart. Which way would be the front and which way would be the rear. Because I think the bottom of it, you know what I think happened was we were talking about this and then my computer shut off. Or is the bed already out at this point? I didn't, maybe I'm blind. Did I not see the bed? Okay, let me go back. Streamception here. Okay, I did have that. Let's see. I was fixing the X gantry. This printer should have been done already if they had actually done this correctly. All right, let me see. Okay. So I had, okay, I have the orientation. So here's the plug here. So this is facing the rear. And then we've got, you can't see my mouse cursor, it's underneath my head. So this is the rear of the bed plate. So the cables need to exit on the same side. Okay, cool. We're good. One of the benefits of doing a recording. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get these on here. It's funny that they sent out new screws even. It's like almost like they knew that there was going to be a problem and you were going to need new screws for this. It's just interesting. All right, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I probably could do one There's really no way to hold these spacers on. Probably do 2 at a time. Man, this is... How the hell do they do this at the factory? This is such a pain in the ass. Oh my god. Okay, I gotta plug the cable into the module under the bed here. Okay. Alright, that's in. And then one of the freaking spacers rolled away off the printer here. I see you, Rain. Sorry I'm not like chatting with chat right now. I'm trying to fix a brand new printer because it wouldn't be a Creality new release without some major issue right out of the bat, would it? Would it now? Go lay down. Stop being annoying. I'm just moving the bed so I can get the screw or the nuts under there. Okay. Wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was not great. To be fair, they did offer to send me out a whole nother printer and send this one back, but I had already unboxed it. I was like, I really don't want to deal with that. And all in all, while this was a pain in the ass, it wasn't too terrible. All right. I'm going to set this only to a little bit of Uggos. But this screwdriver is actually meant for smaller stuff anyway, so which is why I bought this. I got a bunch of Milwaukee drills, but they're way too much torque even on the lowest setting for all these smaller screws. There we go. I can set the torque really low on this so it doesn't round anything out. I literally bought this just for doing printers, and it was well worth the $100 I paid for it. Okay. All right. So we got the bed on. I got the new bed on. I got to take that access panel off under the bed to plug this in. Probably should have done that before I put the bed on here. What's everybody up to this week? We've been pretty busy here. All right, so I've got to route the bed cable, this guy, into this access panel here. And again, I'm sorry about my camera not focusing. Let me put this in manual focus mode. I can lock it in. There we go. Yeah, so you take this panel off here. How's my audio? I'm using these new 5-Find mics. I've only used them a couple times. All right. This plugs in down here. Nice solid connection. You know, I'm wondering if they got like, if the reason they had this, like, I don't know if you can call it a recall. I guess it was more of a voluntary recall before it was an involuntary recall. I'm wondering if they got like the voltages flipped, like it was a wiring issue. All right, that's connected. Cool. Yeah, honestly, I might, because right now, we've been having to like, actually over the last 4 years, we've been having to like downsize here, just because the economy's been so bad. But honestly, I might have to go back to doing the late night streams because during the day I'm so busy with all the stuff that needs to get done, orders, and don't have any inventory to process right now because of all the tariffs and all that bullshit happening. So might have to go back to doing the late night streams. Well, the only difference is when I was first starting the company and we were doing the late night streams, I was not getting up at like 6 or 7 a.m. like I am now because I've been messing with all sorts of stock stuff, and yeah, the market opens at like 8 something here. So yeah, I gotta be up for the market to open, especially if there's stuff I want to do. Just putting a zip tie down here. But we'll see. I like hanging out with you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy the videos. If not, I guess I really don't care. Ask for a refund. Okay. All right. So I got the heated bed in. Put the screws back in. Now I got to use the M5 by 12s to put the bed on, which I think are these guys here. Yep. So there's 2 screws in each corner. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Yeah, I know we're going to hit a point probably, depending on how far all this tariff bullshit goes, where we'll probably run out of inventory, which will be just great. But we'll see. We have no idea. There could be a tweet or some other half-cocked shit that comes out. I have been trying to find alternate sources for our stuff, but the problem I'm finding is, almost like all these printers are made in China. So good luck getting their parts elsewhere. But stuff like the heater cartridges and thermistors and stuff, like the only place I can find right now is over in China. So if anybody has any like referrals or whatever you want to call it to any other companies, US or otherwise, let me know. We are actually getting coax filament back in. There's some of their stuff on the site, and we will be stocking a portion of their filament, like a lot of the top sellers. But the rest of it will be shipped directly from them in Wisconsin, and they ship just as fast as us. So you can add that stuff on, and then they'll ship it out, and we'll send over the tracking for it. But I do plan on adding all of their stuff to our site. I just haven't gotten a chance to complete all that just yet. So, and I know Polymaker has some of their stuff in the U.S., but not all of it. But the only thing that sucks is with the tariffs, our whole filament line, which especially the multicolor stuff, is all made overseas. So whatever we have, that's it for the foreseeable future. And I looked for like all the multicolor stuff in the co-extrusion. I can't find anywhere other than China that makes it. because all the U.S. companies have told me basically that it's too labor intensive to make here, so they don't do it. Which I get it. I run a business in the U.S. It is not cheap to employ people here. So we'll see. A lot of unknowns we're dealing with right now. All right. So I got the bed bolted on. I got the cover back on. I need to install the screen. So that's this cable right here. And that needs to get routed up through the corner here. Man, doing these big printers is such a pain because I can't get the whole printer in frame. So there's the cable. They really used like the least amount of wire possible on this. They probably should have given a little more slack on this. Take it easy, Dan. Thanks for dropping by. Always a pleasure to have you. And whether we have inventory to sell or not, we'll be at Murph. We've already paid for everything, so we'll go. Probably be more of a hangout if things don't change with the tariffs. But we'll go to see everybody. It'll be interesting to see what happens if nothing changes. But at least we'll get to see people and hang out. Okay, so I got to use M4x6s, which those are. I'm going to throw these busted ass screws in the garbage so I don't accidentally reuse them. And 3x6, 4, and 4x6. Okay. So, this thing's heavy. Holy crap. So we got to put this bracket up here. What is this? Oh, it comes up. Okay. It's like, how does this go on? I had it upside down. Okay. That makes sense now. All right, let me see which orientation the cable needs to go on. It's the correct orientation. Yeah, this is, I told you, look at, see what that says? It's the Nebula pad, which, I mean, it's good because you'll be able to root it and do stuff, but they're not that great. I'm so torn on all these printers that come with Clipper because, like, instead of having just normal Clipper, they all have their own bastardized cut down versions of it, and it just makes it hard to do anything with if you want to mod it. Mainly because the OSs are so stripped down. Like we saw in the K2 Plus, the OS is stripped down to all hell. And then like the K1 and the K1 Maxes, those are not as much as the other two. Hang on one second. Remo, come here. Stop screwing around. Go lay down. Put the screen on here. Okay. Here, let me move your shit off your bed. Here, lay down. Lay down. I don't want to mess with stuff in the garage. All right. We got two M5x30s. Those are for the spool holder. So we got to do the spool holder. And then there's like this T thing. Oh, it's a cable support. Okay, that's what this weird Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So, probably turn the autofocus back on now. All right. So this goes in the back here. And all this does is support the cable. Okay. Okay. And then I'm assuming we put two zip ties go on there. This label is in the way. Good enough. There's one. And I'm not clipping the PTFE tube in here because I don't want to put pressure on it. It is basically just a reverse Bowden, so not a huge deal. But if you put a zip tie that needs to be pretty tight on a piece of PTFE, it can end up meaning that you'll pinch things. All right. So I need to put this in, which is the hot end connection. Okay. And all I gotta do is put the spool holder on here, and I think we're done. We're ready to fire this baby up. One. Two. Looks like it's the same kind of extruder setup that's on the K1. Almost identical. I'm not surprised, but just an observation. All right. And then this has obviously got to go in here. Okay. So I just got to put the spool holder on and connect all the wires and plug it in. Okay. Let's get the spool holder on. And that goes over here, down on the bottom where these two holes are. Sorry if I'm blocking the camera. I don't know if I am. But if I am, I apologize. I'm almost done here. Okay. Okay. All right. I know I have a power cord over here. Plug this baby in and see if she works. You guys ready? This thing is freaking ginormous. Here, I'm going to try to get my camera as far back as I can. You guys won't be able to see the screen, but... All right. We'll see what she does. Actually, if I rotate this, you guys can see part of the screen. Okay. Oh, I forgot to plug the other Z motor in. I thought I did earlier, but oh, the freaking wire, or one of the pins on my Z motor is bent. Okay, I got it. All right, man. Okay, so we had the bed that had to be replaced right out of the get-go. Had the issues with the what do you call it? With the Z rods, and then I'm missing something. Chad, help me out here. The Z rod issue, had to replace the bed, and then a bent pin on my left Z motor. Off to a fantastic start. Forgot to plug the light in. All right. It's got like an RGB status. All right, I'm going to go through here. English. Reality and the freaking beeps on their screens. Sign away my life. All right, I'll put on the network, but then it's going to get blocked by my Ubiquiti. I hate these keyboards. Why do we have a dot in the middle and a period? Who the hell uses that character at all? Okay. 175 here. All right, I do have a web interface. I am gonna let it update. I'm assuming there's gonna be a firmware update, and then after that, I'm gonna block it from the internet. Set my time zone. Machine startup in progress. Welcome to set. Please place the printing platform. Okay, start detecting. I hear fans kicking on. Yeah, this is the one that my subwoofer lit on fire during the stream. I have since significantly downsized to a small edifier, I don't know, EDIFI, or a small edifier setup. There's Comet. There's Comet. Hi, Comet. Can you say hi to everybody? Can you say hi to everybody? Come here. Who's a good boy? Oh, too bad Josh isn't here. Too bad Josh isn't here. I know. I know. You're a good boy. Oh, God. Okay, enough with the licks. All right, we're still detecting. Hang on, let me see if I get... Here, come here. Come here. Remo, come here. Can you guys... You guys are going to knock everything over. Hey! Here. Oh, God. Okay. Hi. Hi. You're so vicious. So vicious. Yeah. You my buddy? Are you my buddy? Yeah. German Shepherds are the best. Aren't they? You guys are so smart. And you're adorable. Yeah. Do you think the printer's going to work? Do you think it's going to work? You don't know? You're just a dog? He said he doesn't know. He's just a dog. All right. Hotbed heating. It is getting warm. And it says heat bed tilt calibration. So I'm wondering if this has dual independent Z, which would be kind of nice. Given the price of this printer, I would expect it to have that. Yeah, the heated bed is heating. Feels fairly even so far. I don't know how long it's gonna have it go for, but we'll find out. Remo's my baby. Are you my baby? Are you my baby? Come here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah. She's so vicious. She's trying to eat my hand. And then there's Comet getting jealous because Remo's getting pets. Okay, all done. Get down. All done. Just waiting for him to knock the mic off. Oh, we're moving. All right. It's weird that they didn't do sensorless homing on here. Unless it's not running Trinamics. There are like Chinese knockoffs of Trinamics. That one lead screw is actually pretty wobbly. Okay, we're going to detect the bed. Yep, okay. I'm assuming that's going to probe and do the tilt. It's lowering it down pretty far. Is it just going to ram it to the bottom? I think it's just going to ram it to the bottom. You guys think it's just going to ram it to the bottom? I think it's just going to bottom it out on the stepper motors, which is fine. That will level it out. What do you guys think? Do you think they're just going to bottom it out? I think they're just going to bottom it out, to be completely honest. My hopes of having dual independent Z on here are gone. Yeah, it's going to bottom it out. I haven't watched any of the reviews in depth on this. I flipped through, I think Nathan Builds Robots video on it. But aside from that, I haven't like sat down and watched any reviews of this machine. So I'm going into this a virgin. All right. No, wait. Oh, it bottoms it out on the bearings. Okay. That's actually fine. It wasn't even that loud. Yep, it just sent it. I guess that works, right? I don't think tri-Z's needed, to be completely honest. You've got two lead screws on each side driving this with a nice big thick 10mm belt down here. This is fine. Tri-Z is just way more stuff to go wrong. And honestly, as much as it'd be nice to do the Z tilt, this going down here, even though it does take a little longer, it does also work just fine. So just less stuff to go wrong, you know? looks like it's going to do auto leveling and then input shaping. So this definitely has a tool head board in it. What do you want, Comet? Oh, it's already 1 a.m. Oh, I guess I started around midnight. I said I was going to stream for an hour. It's an hour and 40 minutes already. Okay. I think we're going to home again. Hello, Comet. What are you doing? I don't know if we'll get into a test print tonight because it is almost 2 or it's 1 a.m. here. But I am going to let it finish doing its stuff. Maybe I'll run a quick one. We'll see. We'll see what they have pre-sliced. Oh, it did the little bed dance. Okay. Looks like we're going to auto leveling now. Is it going to go down and do this again? I think it is. No? Such a weird startup routine. It was already homed. We're actually doing the bed leveling now. Oh, man. You know, people used to complain when auto bed leveling would take like 30 to 40 seconds, and now we have printers that take like 15 minutes to start a print. What the hell happened? Seriously. Like, do you guys remember how people would complain that it would take long for a go lay down, Comet. Go lay down. Um, it would take like 30 to 45 seconds to level the bed, and now we have printers that take 10, 15 minutes to just from the time you hit print to start to go through their whole freaking startup routines and everything. Yep, now we're finally taking bed probes. I am waiting for the hell was that? Oh, I think it was the cables rubbing. What's it doing? Just do like a nozzle wipe or something? It must have because it's cooling the nozzle down. I'm wondering if it was cleaning the nozzle on the left side here. What I don't quite get is why they have those four little springs underneath the bed. Okay, now we're home in Z again. And again. Okay, I think we're actually starting the bed leveling. For real this time. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this bed is warped. Maybe it's just how I'm looking at it. I don't know. Oh, man. So somebody's got to check the four corners, and that's probably going to do a full grid now. Yep. Oh. So, how about that weather? Oh, dear God. These printers take so long to start up. Yeah, before yay live stream, what's good? Oh, I thought you said that's good. Because the cable for my mic is blocking out the W, and I thought you said, yay, a live stream, that's good. No, what's good? I'll just getting through this. So we also have the Solval Zero sitting in the shop, brand new in box. We have the Century Carbon also sitting brand new in box. And since you guys are joining us, let me put up a poll, and you guys are going to get to choose who, what printer we do next. I'm kind of, me personally, I'm leaning towards the Carbon just because I want to get into that one and start actually doing stuff with it, like um, making the replacement doors and upgrades for it. But I want to see what you guys think. So I'm gonna set a poll up really quick here. Let me activate my cloud bot. All right, here. All right, confirm, and we're gonna start the poll. All right, vote. Okay, now we're doing input shaping. I feel like doing the vibrations. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up while this is going, and you guys are voting. And then, unless something happens, I should be able to do that printer this week. Thursday, I do have some on-site visits I got to do. But as of right now, Friday should be open. So you guys need to vote. So if you want to vote for the Carbon, do exclamation point vote space Carbon. And then if you want the Solval Zero, exclamation point vote 0. Sounds like it's taken off. It's doing the shaky shakes right now. Scott, it didn't get your vote. Although we see Carbon is, we got 0 votes for the 0. Scott put an extra character in. There you go. 5 votes for the Carbon, 0 for the 0. And then after we do the Carbon, whatever, if we do the Carbon first, we'll do the 0 next. But I'm giving you guys a vote on what's going to be our next one since you guys are here on this late night stream. It's currently almost 1:30 a.m. our time. Oh, you almost got it. Yup. You're so close. So close. I don't know why it doesn't tell like the full name. But yeah, exclamation point vote space Carbon is the Century Carbon. Exclamation point vote space 0 is for the Solval Zero. It's weird that the bot's not posting like what each one is in terms of options. Okay, we got 6-1. We got 7 votes here. We got 21 viewers. Still doing the input shaping. I think it's calculating it because it stopped vibrating. The CPUs in these Creality printers are just so slow. They're so slow. I'm wondering, I should look up if these can be rooted. Root Creality Nebula Pad. Yeah, so you can root it apparently. Oh, but it's doing more input shaping. Let's see, root Creality Ender 5 Max. See if somebody else has already done it or if I'm going to have to go into this blind. Oh, and the Merc 1 kits, I talked to Hector and he has them. I am just waiting here. I need to double check and see how many he has because he told me he could drop ship those for us because it probably would be best just because then he's not shipping them to us. Like it'd be cheaper for you guys and for us. I'm trying to see how many he said he had. Because he's got, okay. Yeah, let me actually update this. And I'll just put a couple day lead time on there. And then we'll ship out whatever you guys get from us. But either way, I'll get the tracking over to you guys. Let me see here. WooCommerce, products. Yeah, because I know he just got some in literally 2 days ago. I was talking to him about this. And I'll be honest, I forgot to add these into stock. Let's see here. I'm just updating this while this is still going through its setup process. Oh, dear God. I just got to make sure I have everything on here. Okay. Oh, we're finally done. All right. All right. I just added some stock for those. And the shipping in the contiguous U.S., so everywhere but Alaska and Hawaii is included. All right. Okay. All right. The light works. The fans work. All right. let's go and, all right, I'm going to heat up the nozzle. I am going to use their included filament here because it's actually on a roll. Look at it. Okay, this is their regular, oh, this is their hyper PLA. I'm still not sold on all this hyper stuff. I don't know, maybe I'm just an old fogey. All right. Unlock the extruder. Push that in there. Okay. Put the lock back on. Oh, it's pulling it. Okay. Oh, and there's black in there. So they did actually test print it. How much is this going to extrude? I'm not a fan of this interface. I mean, it works, but it's not great. You know, I'd like to get into all the routing and stuff, but just with the lack of time, it's been kind of hard because it's like if I'm doing that, I'm taking away from stuff that actually pays the bills here. And yeah, I gotta pay the bills. And I don't even know if like people would want to pay. I mean, maybe they would if like we came out with like a nice update package for these printers that like make them suck less. Kind of like what we did for the with all the unified printers. So there's no files on here. I'm gonna plug the USB in. Let's see, USB drive. That's it. There's a shovel. That's it. There's just all right. I'm gonna slice a benchy with their slicer. I'm gonna download Creality Print. Or maybe I'll download Orca. I'll run the. Should I run the Orca slicer? I'm gonna run Orca slicer. All right. Is it just me or does Orca slicer take forever to load? I told it to load. It's loading. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and did they change it? Is it this button now? I'm assuming it is because it's taking a sec to load to pull up the profiles. Any day now. Like I love Orca Slicer, but dear God, it is slow sometimes. Like, and it's an older computer, but not crazy old. All right, let's see. Hey, look at that. Ender 5 Max, 0.4 nozzle. Confirm. Why is this pulling in the Anycubic? That's really weird. Okay. I guess I'll use... Why is it pulling up my Gear V2? Let me see what my settings are on here, because this is a direct drive. What are we at? 230. I know we're at these settings. I must not use this profile in a long time. Okay. Let's go ahead and add Zavenchi. And I'll probably use, this is a pretty good preset. It was based off of my K1. Make sure supports are off, supports are off. All right. You know what? I'm not gonna, I'll just manually send it over here. Yeah, I can upload it from here. All right, export G-code file. Download, save. Go ahead. I'm assuming import. I've actually never used the I've never used the Creality interface here. Let's see. Start printing. Sorry about that rough transition there. All right, the bed's heating. See how the Orca slicer profile is. So I was reading too that the higher speed filaments, they are also less heat resistant. Not like a ton, but there is a difference. It's one of the reasons I don't print with them is I don't want to have any issues with heat resistance, especially when we're printing customer parts. And we don't run prints crazy fast. Like our standard print speed is anywhere from 80 to 100 millimeters a second. Because I'd rather have stuff that looks nice and is reliable instead of fast, right? Like I want my customers to have good quality prints that are going to be strong and look good. Right. I'm assuming we're going to go through a bed leveling routine. So this little guy over here is supposed to change colors, but it hasn't changed any colors so far. I'm wondering if our camera will work on this, like out of the box. Actually, I have one right here that I took off a printer. I don't know if it'll pull it up just plugging it in like this or if I got to reboot it, but we'll see. We'll see. The light came on it. I'd be surprised if it worked out of the box. They probably have it locked down to only their cameras. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'll try rebooting it. All right, so I'm closing the poll here. It's been up for over 15 minutes. And the winner is the Century Carbon. 6 votes to 1. 85% was Century Carbon. So, oh, hey, look at the light changed. And the camera still hasn't popped up. I'm just going to leave that plugged in because maybe I'll make a, kind of want to make a little mount for it. Oh no, there's a tiny little scuff on here. I should call Creality and complain. Ugh, I saw some guys that his K2 Plus had like a tiny little like ding in the back and was like throwing a fit over it, even though it literally affected nothing. All right, let's see. Okay, we got a good first layer. That looks good. I'll try to get you guys zoomed in on here so you can watch the Benchy go. Although this printer shroud is pretty large. I know there's a booger. Get over it. Should be okay. Something's rattling. It's the Z rods. Yeah, I think that'll probably be okay. First layer looks good. I'm wondering if those lead screws are just really dry. I think they included... No, this is probably the grease I had. Oh no, they did include a tube of grease. I've got so many tubes of this generic metal grease. Because actually, I'm looking at this. There's like... I'm not feeling like any grease on the lead screws. Like very, very little. Yeah, it's the lead screws when it's doing the Z-hop that's making the noise. I'll put the camera in manual focus. And I'm going to turn the print speed up a little bit. If I can, where's the adjustments in here? There you go, 125%. It's in Chinese. I can probably put it a little more in the, yeah, in the control panel here. This is the Hyper PLA, okay? Yeah, the Z rods are what's making most of the noise on here. Or I should say the lead screws, not the rods themselves, but the lead screws. Thing is, if this looks like this can take, this is the nozzle that is in the printer, which is looks like the same depth. Come on, focus. Looks like the same depth as an MK8 nozzle, which means I can probably throw one of our Easy Flow copper nozzles in here, which I probably will. This printer will go out to the print farm. So print quality so far looks really good. Now, I know the later models that are shipping, they won't have to replace the bed like I did. This was one of the very early ones, but that is something to be aware of because apparently there was a problem with the beds because they sent us a whole new bed, and in exchange for not having to ship the whole printer back, they did give us a $150 credit for the Creality store, which I'm going to use to buy the enclosure when it's finally available. For $800 though, like this is not bad for a 400 by 400 by 400, despite the couple issues I had here. I'm trying to see if the enclosure is available. Nope, still notify me. says estimated shipping date May 6th to May 8th. Well, it is May 6th. We'll see. Yeah, if you guys want to see this, the enclosure actually looks pretty nice. Like, I'll be getting this, especially since I have the $150 credit. They're saying it's going to be this much, which is interesting. There's one review, it's 1 star. Is this a joke? How about you send the product you charged me for before asking for a review? That's funny. Yeah, that little blob on the back was on the nozzle. I probably should have cleaned the nozzle off before I started, but yeah, that's very reasonable for that price. We'll see what it is after all the tariffs. You've no idea. And the poll bot is very accurate. Carbon was the most voted option of the poll with 85.714258714 or yeah, 7142587 1% of the votes. They could have just said 86%. I don't know why it got that detailed. It's really weird. I mean, I would honestly expect the enclosure to be around 200, to be completely honest, with just the raw materials. Because I got the metal corner pieces. The acrylic's not cheap. Even from China, it's not cheap. All right. How about this? I'm going to give away any one roll of our filament. It could be the easy choice. It could be spaghetti, as long as you're in the U.S. How's that sound? Because I appreciate you guys coming out. I know it's a weird time. Let me get the giveaway set up. So U.S. only, unfortunately, because a filament is very expensive to ship. Very expensive. Give me just a moment here. I'm setting up the giveaway. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, we put a bunch of tools and stuff on sale. Um, so actually, here's what I'll make. I'll make it easy. So if you guys are outside, um, if you guys are outside of the 48 states, I'll make you a $30 gift card for the shop to use on any of our filaments. Because I think, Scott, you're in Alaska, aren't you? Set up the giveaway right now. if it'll let me log in. Oh, that's fine then, Scott. Yeah. Yeah, shipping prices are just crazy. And like the problem is we're so small that I have no leverage with any of the shipping companies to get better rates. So like we got to rely on stuff like we use ShipStation for all of our packages and they do give us discounted rates, but I know people at bigger companies and they get way better rates than we do, but they also ship a lot more. It's just how it goes. All right, here, let me set this up. Over for 10 minutes. All right. All right, it's all entered. Let me start the giveaway. It says it should be 10 minutes. If you guys want to enter, do exclamation point giveaway, US only. Sorry for outside of US viewers. It's just too expensive to ship filament overseas. It's crazy. The Benchy's coming out pretty good. I just gotta do something about the. Maybe I'll turn Z Hop off. But the loudest thing is the Z Hop, and I should have used a different filament because it is so hard to see the layer lines on white. But I'll bring it up closer on my talking head cam here. Instead, it wasn't a mod, but it shows it's a mod. I don't know. The bot's being dumb tonight, apparently. I also thought I had like a chat overlay. Let me see. Can I add this back in? Add source. Let's add chat now. Can move it around on the screen here. I think people got to type for it to show up though. All right, we got 7 minutes left on the giveaway. According to this, the last giveaway we did was in November. Oh, there it goes. Yep, chat box is working. Yay! It works. I don't know why that was hid. So if you guys notice, this stream should be 1080p, 60 frames a second, because I'm streaming right from my computer out to Streamlab or out to YouTube with Streamlab's desktop. Because it does give me better bit rate. Yeah, I'm looking here. It is 1080 60, which is good. All right, let's see. We got 5 minutes left. I don't know how long we have left on the print, though. This probably could go faster. Should I try pushing a little faster? We're at 150% of my 100 millimeter a second profile. I'm going to bump the, I'll probably need to bump the nozzle temp up a little bit. I'll go to 250. And then I'll bump the speed up here to 200. Wonder if I take the fill light off, if you guys will be able to see the layers better. No, it's about the same. Here, I'll leave it off for now. Oh dear God, the Z-hop. The Z-hop is so loud. Hang on, let me move you guys over here. How's that? Is that better? We got a little stringing. I do have the temp set to 250 right now. Let me drop it down to 240 and see. I'm trying to play that balance of speed versus, hitting under extrusion. And this is just the Orca Slicer Ender 5 Max profile. I did drop it down to 240. You can see how much that printer is shaking the camera. The camera's on the same table as printer. I probably should move that camera over to my desk. I got to spend some time out here and reorganize everything. You can just ignore the little zit right over here. That was on the nozzle. That's my fault. Yeah, I would not recommend using Z-hop on this printer. The Z is so loud. It's printing pretty good though. You see there's less stringing now that I dropped the temp down a little bit. No, I didn't really tune anything. So yeah, if I'm just using a stock profile from any slicer, honestly, I would expect a little bit of stringing. You gotta tune your stuff. Could also be the filament. This is just the filament that came with the printer. Who knows? Could be wet. I mean, it's just cheap filament. It's Creality filament. what more do you want? I'm just happy that it's on a roll, and it's not like one of those ones where it's like the coils. You guys, the cheap coils that come in. I throw those out. Yeah, since we're waiting for this, we got a minute 30 left in the giveaway. I'm going to plug our stuff because that's how we're able to do this stuff is you guys buying stuff from us. And I'm going to let you guys know we got a bunch of stuff on sale. So if you guys want some tools, through May 10th, you got to use the code TOOLSALE15. And this is everything that's on sale. We got the Max air dusters, thermal glue, some nice hex drivers. This is my favorite glue. I use this all the time now, the Suxon B7000. These are the normal prices, so you get 15% off of these. Wire stripper kits. If you don't have a good set of wire strippers, these are great. These are from iWis. The ratcheting crimping set. This is really nice. The handheld hot air station. I have multiple of these. I have a couple in the shop. I have one in here. We got the bed insulation. If you need more deburring blades for your deburring tools, those are also on that. PTFE cutters, and then we got our bed cement, the quick solder connectors, Core XY belt tension kit or tool, I should say. And then we got the ST-Link compatible programmers and then the eMMC programmers. These are all 15% off when you apply this at checkout. And I'm pretty sure I have the site set up if you add one of these to your cart. I think it'll also tell you that there's a special offer. Yeah, right here. So you can see here, you can click tool sale if there's something in the cart, and then boom, it'll take 15% off right there. So, yup. Make sure to check it out. That's how we're able to keep doing videos, is by you guys buying stuff. We're funded by viewers like you. Except we don't get government money like PBS. All right. The giveaway has ended. You guys have had plenty of time. Plenty of time. I'm going to pick a winner. You guys ready? Oh, it's Tor. And you know what? Cool. So, Tor, let me know what film you want, even though I think I know what you're going to pick. Congratulations. I think when we do the Century Carbon stream, I'm probably going to give away something really nice. Hey, Tor's not a TH3D employee anymore, so he's not exempted from the giveaways now. Trying to figure out what this bag of stuff is I have here on my desk. Oh, you know what? This is a box of spare parts for the K2 Plus. Let me know what one you want. Just shoot me a message on Discord or whatever, Discord, Telegram, whatever. I'll get it entered right now. Actually, just actually tell me what you want, PETG or ASA. I think we have both in stock. Let me check. Oh, I'm in my purchase orders, not my stock. Hang on, let me see here. I have both. I have PETG and ASA. I got a ton of ASA. Do you want the ASA or do you want the PETG? I know you like both of them. Dude, I swear to God, all he prints is carbon fiber. That's like all he prints. To be fair, our carbon fiber does look pretty fucking awesome, so I'm printing some of our some of the black PETG I got from our supplier. We don't have the black PETG on the site, but I'm testing it. I'm printing a new set of mower wheels right now, my K1 Max, because the ASA ones that I printed over a year ago finally broke. I hit them with some things while I was mowing. So I'm printing new ones in PETG. We're going to see how PETG holds up. All right, I will get you in here, Tor. I'm going to add it right now. You're still at the 713 Street, right? That's what's on your account here. Okay, cool. All right. All right, I got it entered. And Jordan and I will pack that up tomorrow. Done. Yeah, we're looking at a little stream. I'm gonna drop the profile or the temp down a little bit. I'll go back down to 230, which is what I had my profile set. I bumped it up to compensate for the faster speeds. All right, we're good. The order's entered, Tor. You should have a confirmation email now. I figured it was going to be either you or Scott that won. That's what I was thinking. It was either you or Scott. I don't think Rain's ever won anything. Has he? Have you, Rain? Are you still here? Have you ever won anything on the giveaways? I can't remember. And I saw you ordered from us recently, too. I forgot to put a little note in there. Yeah, it was literally a couple days ago. I just looked it up. I'm pretty sure this is you. I don't even know if he's still here. I'm assuming it's him because it's a bunch of K1 parts. This bed with the Z-Hop is so freaking loud. Yeah, I was asking if you ever won anything on the streams, and I was also saying I'm pretty sure you just ordered from us. It was a couple of fans for the K1. I'm pretty sure that's you. I meant to throw a note in your order, but I was busy and I forgot to throw something in there. I actually just had to replace the control board on our K1 Max. It was doing some weird stuff where any G code files I would upload to it would just not upload, whether it was rooted or not. I'm pretty sure the memory on the board's failing, which is one of the reasons I hate having the eMMC stuff soldered to the board. Oh, you got one of the easy plugs? Yeah. The new easy plugs are out. We have the new ones. I've got a bunch of them. Those came in right before all the tariffs came on, thank God. It was coming down the wire. I think we got them in like a couple weeks before all the tariff shit happened. They've been selling good. I had one guy buy like a dozen of them today. I literally shipped out an order. It was just a box of plugs. Oh, I'm sure it is. I still have beta plugs that I've had. They're God. I can't remember when we came out with them. At least 5-6 years ago. Like, I mean, I've had a couple die here and there, but I also have like 40 or 50 of them here because we have them on all the printers in here, in the basement, in the shop. I've got them on lights. I've got them on even like humidifiers and stuff for in the winter. I use them for all sorts of stuff. We have an open sign now on the shop because people would just sit out there if they were dropping their printers off or picking up an order because you can't really see the lights on in the shop through the window. It's weird. I don't know why. Um, but I bought like an open sign and it's on one of the original easy plugs. And I actually took a picture of it because it looked kind of cool. I was running out there. I had to grab the microphone out of the shop because these were out there. But I snapped a picture because when I have it on automation, so when I unlock the doors, it turns the sign on. So that's what our building looks like. Everything's run out of here. This is the TH3D shop. But yeah, I got an open sign, one of those like neon LED signs, and it looks great. I did not get it from LC Sign. I thought about it. I thought about getting, we have like the TH3D sign here, which I didn't turn on for the stream. I kind of wanted to get like a TH3D sign from him because he makes really good, his signs look awesome and his marketing is hilarious. Mr. Tony over at LC Sign. But you can see part of the K2 here. There's the K2 CFS right there through the window. My desk is right here. I sit here. Jordan's over here in the print farm. And then we got all of our inventory in here. But yeah, I even got a video doorbell. And you can't read this, but it says ring bell for service. So I have it pretty clearly labeled what to do. So hopefully this will help people know when they come to pick up their order that that we're open. They can just come in. Yeah, I've replaced the control box fan on my K1. I probably need to do it soon on my K1 Max because it's starting to make like the bearing growl noise every time I kick it on. But then it shuts up after a little bit, so I should have replaced it when I grabbed the board because I was in there. Oh yeah, I got Doug's Mercury One built. I know I posted a teaser on I think it was on Shorts on the YouTube Shorts. It came out nice. This is Doug's Mercury One build we did for him. Look at that. Got the Easy Neos in there. Aw yeah. That's the first print off of it. Did the Apus 2 on here with a Dragonfly BMO hot end. Got the Easy ABL NG8. These are the 5.0 ones we're testing, which those are on hold now because of the tariffs. Because they would be crazy expensive, which sucks because I can't even get these anywhere else. Like this whole tariff situation sucks. If you guys watched the video I did a couple weeks ago, um, you can get my thoughts on that. The TLDR is like the biggest problem with these tariffs is we can't get a lot of the shit we sell in the U.S. even if I wanted to, and the few things we can get, like stuff getting machined, is so expensive that nobody will buy it. Like even accounting for, let's say, there's nothing on the Chinese market that's viable, it's still crazy expensive. Like it's so expensive that I wouldn't even pay that much for it. It's a shitty situation we're in right now. And the sad part is all this tariff stuff is going to hit the smaller businesses like us and other people harder than everybody else. Because being a small business, like at least the Chinese are willing to work with us on smaller quantities of things. Most U.S. companies, they want such high minimum order quantities and high prices that it's just literally we can't afford to do it. And nobody wants to talk about that. It sucks. All right, we're almost done with this. I'm going to wrap this up. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours. And then so the next stream we'll do is the Century Carbon. I know it's getting late because both the dogs are passed out on their beds here. But yeah, as far as I can tell, I don't think anything's going to let up tariff wise. So if you guys are wanting parts, whether that's from us or other places, I would get extras like as soon as you can. So I mean, luckily we had quite a decent amount of inventory. So hopefully that can let us ride things out. But if you guys are thinking you're going to need parts, just get them and hang on to them. It's not like they go bad. I'm really kicking myself because I should have ordered more K1 boards because, like, literally within a couple days of all the tariffs being announced, people bought up all the toolhead boards we had. And I literally can't even get shipping quotes right now because all the vendors are like, yeah, we're just not quoting shipping because it's so damn expensive right now. So it's like, okay, screw me, I guess. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yes, I don't know what industry are you in. That's the other thing. Like sales are down. Like everybody's like we were already. I don't know about you guys, but like I've been watching our spending very closely, business and personal. I know a lot of my friends are watching their spending, business and personal. Like the other thing too is all this stuff is happening at a time when everybody is watching their spending and, trying to be smart about what they're spending money on and, cutting back on expenses. And then you got prices going up. Like the tariffs are going to make prices go up. I'm just curious, how do you guys think that the tariffs are paid by the country that's shipping the goods in? I'm just curious because I'm finding a lot of people don't actually understand how the tariffs work. Like, whether you're right or wrong, I'm not going to make fun of you or anything. I'm just curious. I'm genuinely curious how people think the tariffs are working, like how they work, who's paying them, and whatnot. Yeah, that's the other thing too. A lot of raw materials come from overseas, not just China. I mean, like I'm pretty sure almost every country has had a minimum 10% tariff put on it. It's not just China. China's just got the highest one. But a lot of places get their raw materials, even if the product's made in the U.S. Um, a lot of places get their raw materials from China and other places. Like I know filament companies that multiple filament companies now at this point that have told me that their materials have gone up because a lot of the dyes and stuff they get come from overseas from their suppliers. All right, here I'm gonna turn the light on here so you guys can see this. Here's the benchy. You can see they had black in there. I probably should have flushed that out a little more. Um, but given the speed, this imperfection here is my fault. There was a blob. A little stringy, but again, this is just, I downloaded the Orca Slicer profile and sent it. I'm happy with the print quality. Looks good. Just do a little bit of tuning, get rid of the string. Honestly, if I probably put one of our filaments in there or polymakers, the stringing would probably be gone. I'm Creelli's filament. I've noticed I get stringing on it. But again, could also tune the profile. Yeah, I'm happy with it despite the issues. Considering I had one of the early models, which is how it goes with Creality, unfortunately. You buy the early ones, you get to be the beta tester. Um, yeah, I'm happy with this printer. Looks good, especially considering this was 200 millimeters a second for most of this print. So I'm happy with it. I'm sure Jordan will be happy with it because we're going to put this out in the print farm and we're going to use it for PLA jobs. And then once we get the enclosure, we'll be using it for ABS. Yeah, they are. Yeah, so like I don't know, like if obviously we're live right now, so I can interact with you guys, but like the tariffs are paid by the company that's importing the goods. So when I import stuff, and we've been paying tariffs because there have been tariffs on China from before all this. We have to pay that. That's an actual cost that gets added onto the product. So these tariffs are literally just a tax on everybody because that money is not going anywhere special. It's just going into the government's pocket, just like your income tax or any other tax you pay. So yeah, it's a tax. It's another tax at a time when people are already strapped for cash, and it's the way they're going about everything is shit. Like it's absolute shit, and we're all just getting hosed. Like unless you're ultra wealthy, you're just getting hosed. Um, so yeah, feel like we're due for like a hangout stream soon. Um, but yeah, I like the printer. I do. I think for the money, it's a good deal. Again, you won't have to deal with the bed issues I had. I'm sorry. Because they fixed that in the earlier models. Like I think we got into the first round of orders. Um, but I will say I'm glad they proactively reached out. They said, "Hey, there's a known issue with some of the beds. They gave us a couple options. Either they'll send me a label, I send the whole printer back, which I'd already unboxed it. Even if I hadn't unboxed it, I probably wouldn't have done that. They said, or we can send you the bed and we'll give you $150 store credit. And I think there was another option. I can't remember what it was, but those were like the two main ones. Either we'll send you a label, you can send it back, and then we'll send you a whole new printer with a new bed, or we'll send you the new bed, you can switch it out yourself, and we'll also give you a $150 store credit, which I thought was pretty generous, which I'll just end up using for the enclosure. Um, But yeah, all in all, I think for the value for a 400 by 400 by 400 printer, this does provide a lot of value. Now, again, depending on when you ordered it, if yours is affected, I don't know if like they went back and updated their inventory um, that had already been imported. But yeah, I'm happy with it. It's nice looking. My only complaint is the Z is a little loud, but I'm assuming if I throw some lube on here, it'll probably quiet it down too. But that was only during the Z hops. During the normal moves, it was fine. So, but yeah. But all right, it is now about 2:30. Rain, I'm gonna send you a PM on Discord because I do want to chat with you for a sec if you're not going to bed right away. But yeah, all right. I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you for hanging out. And as always, happy printing. And I'll see you guys on the Centauri Carbon stream, which, if all goes to plan, we'll probably be doing that Friday. So, and I think Jordan, we might try doing a stream out in the shop and doing it like on the bench there because I do actually have an extra camera. These are actually the cameras we use. So the one that I'm looking at you through and the one these are what we use for our cameras with an HDMI capture card. This is what we use. These are older, but they're great. They're 1080p, 60 frames a second. They're just the Sony A6000. It's a great camera. So Ender 5 Max versus Ender 5 with the Mercury 1 kit. I think that I can kind of sum this up. If you want something that's going to be more repairable long term, the Mercury 1, if you already have a 5 Plus, you can get a 5 Plus for cheap. And the 350 build volume is good enough for you because the Max is actually a little bit bigger. I have a Merc 5 Plus. You want something to play with, you want a project, you want something that's repairable long term, that's going to beat it. If you want something that's big and doesn't take that long to get up and running, this is hard to beat. But yeah, they're both good printers. You can have both. Why not? If you got the space. These do take up a lot of freaking space though. So, all right, everybody. I will see you on the next one. And as always, happy printing. We'll be unboxing the Centauri Carbon next. Take it easy.